Hello everyone, my name is Maurice, and this footage is of me riding around Jocheon, South Korea during cherry blossom season, right before eating at Burger King. Anyways, today I wanted to share with you 5 things I love about riding motorcycles in South Korea. Number 1, the cafes. One of the coolest aspects of riding in Korea is exploring the unique and beautiful cafes. Not only can you get a good cup of coffee, baked goods, you can also enjoy some of the most beautifully designed buildings and awe-inspiring nature around. So I'd like to share 3 motorcycle-themed cafes and a few others with you guys that I've fallen in love with around Korea. All the locations I mentioned will be linked below with both Naver map pins and Instagram links if I have them. You can also check out my Naver map bookmark list of cafes to visit, which has over 190 cafes and counting. So let's get started with the first motorcycle cafe, Cafe Go Back. Cafe Go Back is the first motorcycle cafe I've ever visited. It has great hot dogs, hot and cold drinks like espresso drinks and smoothies, and cute little cats you can pet outside. There's tons of motorcyclists that visit, so you get to see tons of cool motorcycles. They even hosted a KTM event once where you could test ride a few of their models. I got to ride a 890 SMT and an RC 390 unsupervised with a 10 to 15 minute time limit to be back at the cafe. Cafe Go Back is so popular in fact that they're temporarily closed for renovations so they can reopen bigger and better. Night Kongs is another moto cafe that I like. It has a nice second floor lounge and seating both inside and outside on the front lawn. They have delicious salt bread sandwiches, smoothies, and some pretty good. The staff there are super nice, and there's always really cool motorcycles to see both inside the cafe and out on the lot. It's a great spot to get refreshed and relax, which makes it both a great pit stop and destination. The last motorcycle cafe I'll mention is Cafe 4 Nerd. This is probably the funnest motorcycle decor I've ever seen in my life. From the tables and chairs to the gas tanks on the walls, this cafe honestly looks so cool. They also serve hot dogs, popcorn, and desserts, as well as hot and cold drinks like coffees, aids, and smoothies. Now I'd like to share 2 of my favorite non-motorcycle themed cafes. First up is Cafe San, which is a very fun paragliding cafe. Even if you don't go paragliding, it's still worth the trip for their bakery and refreshing drinks you can have while relaxing and enjoying the stunning view and watching people take off and soar through the sky. You'll definitely end up taking a lot of pictures here and have a lot of fun, so I'd absolutely add this to your bucket list for South Korea if you have the time to make the journey out here. Last but not least is Louis Town. This is both a restaurant and a cafe, and it is my favorite place to visit in all of Korea. Louis Town is owned and run by a chef named Sungmin who previously worked at South Korea's United Nations mission or office located in New York City by the UN headquarters. After visiting all over the US to include Texas and New Orleans, he decided to open an American-themed cafe and restaurant serving up American barbecue with brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and more. They also serve delicious beignets, pastas, and really good milkshakes that you have to try with some of their super crispy fries. The building is beautifully decorated with American newspapers, ads, magazines, and pictures from the 60s all the way up to the early 2000s. They also decorate for different holidays like Halloween and Christmas, which to me makes it feel just like home away from home. Outside, you can enjoy a really refreshing pool, beautiful nature, and the cute cats and dogs. If you have your own pet, they're very welcoming to cats and dogs and even offer little pup cups and a fenced-in area where you can let your pet off leash and play around freely. They even have a camping area where you can pitch a tent and spend the night with accessible bathrooms. Can't recommend enough that you visit Louis Town and experience all they have to offer. Now on to reason 2, the beautiful riding roads. So you're actually not legally allowed to ride any 2-wheeled vehicles on Korea's equivalent of the US interstate system. These expressways that you can't ride on are easily identifiable by the toll gates and no motorcycle signs. If you're new to riding in Korea or you're in an unfamiliar area, you can set your Naver map navigation app to 2-wheeled vehicle mode and it'll always avoid these expressways. You do get to ride on regular highways, but I don't really have too many negative feelings against the law since it forces me to take highways and roads that allow me to see more of Korean towns, cities, and rural areas, and just discover more places you would never have seen if you'd only rode on the expressways. The 4th thing I love is the weather. You really get to experience 4 distinct seasons that completely change how Korea looks, feels, and the experiences you can have. In spring, you get to see beautiful cherry blossoms and various other flowers blossom all around Korea. During the summer, you get to experience really long days and super warm nights that really invite you to ride later into the evening. Definitely be on the lookout for changing weather, as monsoon season is during the summer, so be prepared to get a little wet. Fall offers relief from the summer heat and brings beautiful changes in colors to both the countryside's hills and valleys and parks and towns throughout Korea. You'll definitely experience some snow and ice during Korea's winters, but I'd say about 70% of winter is still rideable from Seoul southwards if you do so carefully and have a good sense of when to turn around and call it a day. I really like that even though sometimes it gets too icy to ride, you can actually enjoy some of the benefits of a cold winter, like skiing, snowboarding, making snowmen, which is something you can't really do in my home state of Georgia, where it just gets cold and icy sometimes. The fourth thing I love is the Korean riding culture. So in Korea, they also have the motorcycle wave, but it's a lot more fun than the US version. You know, our cool two-finger down wave. In Korea, you frequently get enthusiastic waves and all kinds of heart signs. I even one time had a motorcycle couple give me a big duo heart wave as they passed by. I definitely also experienced a greater bond between riders than I felt in the US. Riders often want to talk to each other, check out each other's bikes, learn about each other's experiences, and are very willing to help out each other, like when I needed a bump start on my Pan America. It's also a much less gatekeeping culture in the sense that motorcycling is more of a mindset and it doesn't really matter what you ride. There's definitely still a big mix between motorcycles like Harley Road Glides or V4 Ducatis, but there's a lot of Honda Super Cubs, Vespas, and 125 and 250cc motorcycles that are welcomed into the community all the same. The fifth thing I love about riding in Korea is the nature and architecture. I can't say enough about how beautiful Korea is, so I'll just show you guys some of the beautiful places I've been lucky enough to visit or ride through. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to share some more videos about motorcycling in South Korea in the near future.